Our top story there at 5:30 is that dangerous heat outside. The entire viewing area has been under a heat advisory all afternoon. And here's some of the people trying to beat the heat at Ocean Breeze Water Park in Virginia Beach. I'm a little jealous.
Looks good to me. The good news is that advisory expires in less than half an hour. We're on your side with team coverage on the heat. Super Doppler 10 meteorologist Jeff Edmondson is outside in it with ways to make sure you stay safe.
But we start with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater. And Don, yes, it's July, but can we expect any relief anytime soon?
Well, I think by Sunday we are going to see some definite relief into the region. And it'll come in the form of some rain, too. And after all, this heat is really drying things on out. Super Doppler 10 live, no rainfall whatsoever within the region. In fact, we widen the picture out a little bit and show you what's going on. And we are seeing, again, any rainfall? No, none whatsoever. We've had some cloud cover that's kind of looked like rain off and on, but nothing much going on with that. Now, the heat advisory is actually in effect for the peninsula and Isle of Wight County, Southampton County, and inland. And you can also see it for the eastern shore. So again, basically from the peninsula and anywhere west of Franklin into Virginia, that heat advisory is in effect. Now, the heat advisory is issued when we end up seeing basically any heat index rise above 105 degrees. We've got temperatures 91, 92, 95 degrees, and our heat indices, they're basically around 100 to 106, 108, a little bit cooler into parts of North Carolina. So again, very hot conditions through the area. We are going to see some relief, though, coming up by Sunday.
All right, thank you, Don. Police in Alabama are investigating the death of a baby left inside a car for more than 3 hours. Investigators in Homewood say that the one-year-old girl was in this SUV parked outside a nail salon where her parents work. Emergency crews took the girl to a nearby children's hospital where she died. Her body temperature was nearly 110 degrees. Witnesses say the mother brought lunch to her husband and forgot the child was in the car.
Remind the parents to check their back seat before they exit their car, and think twice before when they drop a child off or pick a child up, or to remember where the child is.
Police are investigating the death and will decide if the parents will face any charges. The northeastern part of the U.S. is in the middle of a heat wave. Washington, D.C. and New York City have been in the 90s all week. Officials closed one playground because the equipment just got so hot it became unbearable.
And if you are playing or working or spending any time at all outdoors, you do want to stay safe. Super Doppler 10 meteorologist Jeff Edmondson is outside right now in Portsmouth. So, Jeff, any good advice?
Well, yeah, I have a bunch of good advice outside, but first of all, showing the trusty old thermometer here, you can see the temperature is getting close to that 100-degree mark. It's not actually at that mark, and it shouldn't be for the rest of the day today, but it still is very hot outside. This is, remember, the actual temperature. This isn't the heat index. That is when you add that dew point. But let's first of all talk about one thing that you can really do to stay cooler outside, and that is really, you want to remember to wear that light colored clothing, that loose fitting clothing. I'm wearing long sleeves here right now, but I've only been out here for a little while. But you want to make sure you have that cooler clothing on, nothing tight, nothing all too dark. Remember, if you try to look pretty, you're going to be hot in this stuff. You want to just dress cool and not worry about what you look like sometimes all the time. Now also, you want to make sure you drink plenty of fluids too. Water is a good thing. Avoid the caffeinated substances. Also avoid those alcoholic beverages too, because that can accelerate that dehydration and that heat exhaustion that you might experience. So if you do start to get to that point where you're starting to feel a little dizzy, you may have a headache outside, that's where you may have heat exhaustion and heat stroke, and that's where you really want to be careful. You want to seek shelter. You want to be indoors, where in a place where there's air conditioning and cooler air to kind of cool your core temperature down. If your core temperature also gets above that 100-degree mark, that's where you really want to be careful. So some of the tips, just remember to stay cool today and also especially for tomorrow. Back to you.
All right, Jeff, I beg to differ. You can look cute and still, wear not hot clothing. We're going to try that out. Especially Don, he says. And Don's doing a fabulous job. No, just kidding. Thanks, Jeff.